It's been quite a journey. We've seen it all.
The streak is over.
From AFL to AFC.
The Bills are in the Super Bowl.
From Jack to Jim to Josh and so many more.
Jumped over a man at the 45.
Our Bills give everything they have. And they receive even more.
And here we go.
This isn't just a team, it's a community. Banded together, we push and we persevere.
It is pandemonium. It is fantastic.
We've carried each other through good times and tough breaks.
I know I've never felt more love than right now.
At the end of every hit, we rise and fight again.
They're after him and safe it.
That tenacity,
He was in his face and Hughes dropped him.
sacrifice, strain, passion is ingrained in Buffalo and in its people.
Let's go, guys. We're going to knock their ass off.
Fires it deep. Makes the catch. Fumbles in the middle. There's a run by Thurman.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Hi, Scott.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, where are you, in Portland?
I am. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I hear you love it here.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was the most beautiful city. I've been there, but long ago, however. Yeah, but I've been to Portland. Way back, I coached at Cal Berkeley, and we were in the Pac-8. I don't know if it still functions that way. Good spot to be.
So I grew up in Western New York. I was born at the hospital there in Buffalo, and
Oh, okay.
lived there until I played at Canisius College for a couple of years. My final year was the year it went defunct when they canceled the program in '02.
Yeah.
Do you remember who tried to coach there back in the 40s?
No, but I bet if you tell me, I'll remember. But I can't come up with it now. Who was it?
It was Vince Lombardi. He was actually denied the job, and he said that it was one of the biggest disappointments of his life.
Wow, I did not know that. No, by no means. I think I heard of that guy.
Yeah, Vince Lombardi, he said that Canisius gave him the greatest disappointment of his career, and he felt good about his chances, but the college actually hired some lawyer who had coached there prior to the war, so he had never been more disappointed. That was 1948.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I didn't know I was going to give you a bit of history.
Oh, yeah, that sure is. I knew him a little bit, and good guy. I was an assistant coach somewhere in college and went to one of his practices, and he was tremendously cordial and helpful. And then I knew him as the years passed by better and better.
Well, you're both legends in my eyes, and the NFL's. So you coached for 47 years, which is incredible, and you stepped away from the game entirely about 17 years ago. How much do you miss being involved in football?
Well, it was time. It was time to step away because there were other things in life. There were vacations. Fran and I went to Palm Springs for many years. We bought a vacation home in Williamsburg, Virginia. I don't know if you've ever been there. It no longer have either one, but no, it was time. At 47 years, I knew there'd be some of those Sundays when I might miss it and everything, but I knew also what you had to involve in your energy and time and dedication, and there comes a time you get too old to do it.
But you're never too old to watch Bills games, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm never too old to second guess any of the coaches. Yeah, right now, sure.
So do you follow any of the games now?
Not very closely. The coach at William & Mary, I've gotten to know him a bit. I like him. I like Buffalo. The fans there were terrific. The coach at Buffalo is a William & Mary alum, and that adds to it.
Yeah, Sean McDermott, I feel like you two both had a strong emphasis on special teams, and you both coach, with a lot of energy and a lot of discipline.
That is the most chicken call I've ever seen, Tony. Who threw that flag, you know? He's an idiot, the guy. He keeps doing it all the time. What's the flag for?
89 threw his helmet.
Coming over to the bench.
No, he wasn't. He cannot take his helmet off and throw the helmet anywhere on the field of play. That's not a chicken.
It is a chicken call. Chicken bull call. Get him out of the game. Hey, throw that jerk out. Hey, throw the flag on that jerk. Tried.
I don't know if you know it, but Dick Vermeil and I were the first two special teams coaches in the league. Other teams didn't have special teams coaches. We both thought so much of the kicking game, and George Allen hired Dick. And 1 year later, Dick left become head coach at UCLA, recommended me to George, and that's what started me in that sense of the word.
You coached with the Rams and the Redskins, right? And then you've gone everywhere from college to CFL to USFL and the NFL.
That's right. And funny thing, while we're talking, our daughter, friend of my daughter, right now is in Montreal. There's a game tonight. They are celebrating the 50th anniversary of our Grey Cup champions. I was coaching there then. Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah. Well, you're one of only 3 people to be inducted into both the Canadian and Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You are knowledgeable. That's right. Warren Moon and the coach from the Minnesota Vikings.
Bud Grant.
Bud Grant, Warren Moon. That's right. And we've, the 3 of us have commented about that to each other many times, how much we like both. Yeah.
There's one thing about the Hall of Fame ceremony. You went there in 2023, but you missed this year. I was told that there's only one way you would ever go back to that ceremony in person.
I know where you're heading.
What would it take, Coach?
Oh, boy, I tell you, there has never been a special teams player like Steve Tasker. Was that what you were referring to?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's never been a special teams player like him. He had such high character, you can't believe it. He was a terrific wide receiver also. Kelly kept wanting me to play him more as a wide receiver, but there's too much doing the kicking game. But he was great. He's a radio announcer now.
Oh, yeah.
TV, I'm not sure which, yeah.
Yeah, I think he does great. He does One Bills Live for the Bills, and they also worked the game yesterday on CBS.
Okay, great. Great guy, great character, great family. I think he had a son that played in the Canadian League, too.
He did, and he's the radio announcer there.
Oh, I see. All right. Everything I remind you of, you know way better than I do.
Well, I'm a few years younger than you, and I hope to make it anywhere close to your age. It would be an honor.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just had number 99 earlier this month. Yep.
Well, we celebrated my son's 3rd birthday on the same day you celebrated your 99th.
Your son's 3rd, huh?
Yeah, yep.
That's great. That's great.
So,
that's wonderful.
I also know that you were hired midway through the season in 1986 after the Bills fired their head coach, but you kept most of the coaching staff there, and you were able to swoop up Tasker off of waivers after he got injured, and you guys shared your first game together, correct?
Yeah. Actually, what happened is Bill Polian had gotten hired by Ralph Wilson up in Buffalo. They let their coach go in mid-season, and Bill recommended me very strongly, and then they went ahead and did hire me. And one of the scouts came in just about 2 weeks or so afterwards, and he said, Marv, I know you love the special teams. He said, I used to scout for the Oilers, and they're bringing Steve Tasker off injured reserve. In those days, to bring a player off injured reserve, you had to put him on waivers. And if no one claimed him, you could. So we claimed him. And oh, boy. And what a guy, what character, what a family guy, everything about him.
So that gentleman who gave you that recommendation, would that happen to be Joe Faragelli?
Yes. Oh, man, you got a better whatever you call it, memory than I do.
So you coached that 86 season, and you had to coach Jim Kelly, who had been especially outspoken about not really wanting to come to Buffalo because he was drafted in 83, and that, I believe, was his first season. What was it like coaching Jim Kelly, and what did he have to say?
Once I got there, he had been there for a short period of time, but he had no other choice but to come. The USFL was folding, and many years later, Jim Kelly said, no one ever wants to come to Buffalo. He said, once they get here, no one ever wants to leave. He still lives there.
So does Tasker, right?
Yeah, so does Tasker. Well, no one wants to leave.
So now that we're talking about Jim Kelly, he has a lot of the franchise records still, but do you think that Josh Allen potentially will break all of those records?
Well, he might. Records finally get broken. Babe Ruth's record got broken. It happens. Somebody beat the first guy who ran the 4-minute mile. The likelihood is it can occur, but no one thinks any less of Babe Ruth today than they do.
He'd have to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. And times change. Obviously, they're throwing the ball more now than ever. if you flexed out Josh Allen's average stats over his 94 games to 160, he would have a better record and numbers, but it wouldn't be by much. It would only be 7 wins more and then about 3,000 yards more. And that's over the course of a career. That's pretty impressive considering how many games Allen has actually been able to play with avoiding major injury.
That's certain.
He was my childhood, and so was your coaching. Here I am now talking about the Bills years later, and you've all left an impression on me and still talking about those days.
Well, I'm very complimented by your comments. Thank you.
So when you had gone to 4 straight Super Bowls, after that first one, which was a tough loss, you had a poem that your mother gave you that you later recited. Would you happen to remember that now?
Yeah. Fight my man Sir Andrew said, a little I'm hurt, but not yet slain. I'll just lie them bleed a while, then I'll rise and fight again. Yeah.
And we have...
Like from the 1200s, I think. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't say it to me directly, but he...
Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that failure is just an opportunity to start again more intelligently. And I think that is the truth.
So I hear you go on a lot of walks. I want to know, when you're doing those daily walks in Lincoln Park, do you happen to listen to music or audiobooks or recite poems?
No, I just look at the pretty girls that walk by. That's it.
So do you ever get recognized?
Every now and then, yeah, somebody, but maybe less and less now as, the days go by. Yeah, there's people recognize me, and I don't know how many times it's happened here in Chicago where somebody will come and say, I was originally from Buffalo, so, but I'm out for walks almost every day. I used to go out for a good half-hour run, not that anymore. About 5 years ago, I had a tumble coming home, and since then my balance has been absolutely, I have to use a walker full time, and my energy ain't what it used to be. I used to run those 26.2 marathons. Now, if I go 26.2 yards, I got to sit down.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, 99 is a huge accomplishment, and that's something that not too many people can say they've made it to. And I know you'll make it to 100, and you're going to have a big celebration because I hope the Bills can bring you a Super Bowl in your lifetime.
That would be wonderful. I sure hope so.
Happy birthday, dear Paul. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you all, and I want to invite you all to my 200th birthday.
I did have a funny one here.
Okay.
So I remember you chewing gum vigorously, and you would be shown on TV a lot. Now, my question to you is, who chewed gum more often or more aggressively, you or Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll. Yeah, Pete. And I got to know Pete pretty darn well at league meetings and things like that. And one day I was walking to the park in Lincoln Park here in Chicago, and he came the other way. I don't know what he was doing here or anything, but we had a nice chat. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So what was your favorite brand of gum, or maybe flavor, during your your time of chewing gum?
No, my favorite was a martini, to tell you the truth, not gum. No, I didn't really have one. I haven't chewed much lately either, for quite a few years.
Okay, I've got one last question here. Going into the first Super Bowl against the Giants, it was well documented that some media members noticed a team that was almost kind of too loose or too confident. Now, hindsight is always 20/20, but if you could go back in time and you could have managed that first one possibly differently, would you have been more strict on the team regarding like curfews or partying or anything like that?
No, I think that's sort of been overblown anyway. No, if I could do anything about that, I'd widen the goalpost by about 3 feet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do think the Bills can do it, and, those 4 Super Bowls you went to, it's never been done again as far as 4 in a row, and I think that accomplishment by a coach or player will never be done again.
Well, thank you for that comment, but it's a pleasure talking with you now, and I admire your insights and your history and your apparent love of the game.
Oh, I have it for sure. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time very much. My father has since passed, but he would be very proud of the fact that I've been able to even talk to you, so it's been a true honor.
Thank you, Scott. Get back to work, and no curfew for you tonight. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for enriching my life.
You got me feeling like I'm Josh Allen, yeah. What? You got me feeling like I'm Josh. Okay. You got me feeling like I'm Josh Allen. Yeah. Josh.
Got me feeling like I'm
Who? Josh. Yeah.
Josh Allen.